Liam Halligan for this one. I presume we should all be bracing ourselves, Liam.
Indeed, Eamon. Some important figures coming out today from the Office for National Statistics ahead of these local elections in early May. We all know there's a cost of living crisis, but it seems to have been a kind of drip feed. Every month a new inflation number comes out. The cost of the consumer price index now is 7% higher in March than it was in March 2021. But what the ONS is going to bring out today is a kind of broader set of figures that relate to the last 6 months. And I think they'll certainly be capitalised on by Keir Starmer. We're all feeling the cost of living squeeze. It's not just fuel, it's food. There was a lot of inflation around after the lockdown, where you had a big surge in demand and then the economy struggled to respond. So you got prices going up. But then on top of that, we're really seeing now the inflationary impact of the Russia-Ukraine crisis, the impact on fuel prices, the impact on food prices in particular. I mean, for my money, where the cost of living increases are really coming through now is in food, not just staples like bread and eggs and dairy and so on. We often have on the Money Show farmers talking about how their production prices are going up, but also across the board. So I don't think it's going to be particularly good news from the ONS when the figures come out at 9:30 this morning.
I just want to talk about something else, and it may seem trivial, but it sort of ties into all of this. We go to the Isles of Scilly. They don't have any banks anymore. There's no banks in the Isle of Scilly. Lloyd's closed its branch on St Mary's, leaving the whole area without a bank at all. Sign of the times or neglect?
I really think this is a major issue. We've seen our main high street clearing banks withdrawing from towns, even quite big towns across the UK for a long time. They say, oh, you can just bank online. It's a lot more convenient. But of course, for a lot of people, it isn't more convenient. They don't want to bank online. They want to talk to a real person. And how symbolic that there are now no banks on the Isle of Scilly. Linked to this, Eamon, is the move away from cash. I don't know about you, but I hardly ever use cash anymore. I get cash out of the ATM machine, the hole in the wall, and it sits in my wallet for days and days and days, and I barely use it. But I'm used to using digital technology. I'm used to using tap cards and so on. A lot of people, particularly our older people, aren't used to that. And also for lots of market traders, the move away from cash makes life very, very difficult. It's very hard for the government to push the banks into doing certain things, providing banks for certain communities. But how symbolic that across the whole of the Isles of Scilly, we haven't got any banks anymore. I think a lot of people, particularly older people, are going to be very frustrated about that. Not least because in many communities, post offices also aren't around. Those sub-post offices where you used to be able to get some cash or cash your pension or whatever it was. So I think this is a bad day.